Yeah.
No matter no matter where you no matter what you do, where you're trying to go, the bravest thing you can do is walk that through that door for the first time. That
Yeah.
doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how brave you are. Um, Going and opening up sometimes like that can be daunting, and you've got to gain a little bit of trust. Um, you have to try and gain that little bit of trust, and you have to be completely honest about your own life, your own experiences, which I have, um, rightly or wrongly, good or bad. I think so that people learn about you and understand you, and what you're told in there, you keep in there. It's all private and confidential, and we aren't there to judge. We're peer to peer support. We don't have any official qualifications apart from life experience. Um, and just talk about it. Be open and honest. It's all right to be upset. It's all right to
Yeah.
cry. It's
Yeah.
all right not to say anything if you don't want to. If you just want to come and listen for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks,
Yeah.
uh, you might not relate to anything first week.
No, no.
There might be
So,
nothing that's
see how
in that
you're
room
talk.
that you relate to.
See how you're talking about like for your upbringing. What down in Scarborough? Is that where you're born and bred, Scarborough?
No, and again, I find that mental health, trauma, abuse, domestic violence, domestic abuse doesn't all come from council estates. It doesn't
Right.
come from your. It doesn't just come from the roughest areas in Scotland, maybe Glasgow as an example. Without being
Yep.
rude to anybody from Glasgow, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
Yep.
Scarborough is not the roughest place in the world by any means, but we are one of the worst deprived areas in North Yorkshire because we're seaside
Yep.
and all the work's seasonal work. So come winter, there'll be no work. That in itself pushes mental health through its and resources then are struggling. Like I
Definitely.
said, the Ellis Centre, Cambridge Centre, they just don't cope. If you look at the national statistics show Scarborough as having a bad mental health problem, and also in 2018 were the highest on the stats for suicide and male suicide in the country.
Right. Well, the news didn't publish that every day, did they?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
so it's massive mental health, and I think coming out of COVID has brought a whole new element to mental health.
Right.
Um, but going back to getting them through the door, it's hard, it's difficult. It's about being regular, about being there, even if there's only one person there. You know,
Yep.
if you're running, you've just got to keep going and hope that eventually that second and third and fourth and fifth. Andy's man club started with one man whose brother had died.
Right.
They've now got 50 branches all over England.
That's amazing, eh? It's amazing what you can achieve if you just keep pushing yourself, eh?
So it's about never giving up. And you're not alone. There's loads and loads of other guys out there.
Yep.
Um,
100%.
please, please don't suffer in silence. Come and talk to Darren. Come and talk to myself.
Yep.
Give us a message. Let's do these lives. Let's get that message out there,
Yep.
and let's make everyone know that it is okay to talk. It's all right to be upset. It's all right
Definitely.
to say no. You don't have to have a reason to say no. You know, like people who've been bullied or been through bad shit tend to be quite soft people,
Yeah.
genuine, nice, generally quite nice people. But you're
Yep.
allowed to say no. You don't
Of
have
course
to
you
have a
are.
reason. You don't have to have a reason to say no. You don't have to be because your kids are staying over or you're going to the pub. It might be you just don't feel it. You just don't want to. There don't have to be a major reason. You can
Yeah.
say no just because you want to.
That's it. No, no means no.
And
You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's a word. It's there. It's there to be used. You know what I mean? And as I say, some people can take advantage of it, and you know what I mean. So
There's
that's a
two
powerful
types.
word, that.
There's two types of people as well. There's people who will give and give and give and give, and there's
Yep.
the other kind who take and take and take and take.
Oh, 100%.
Same as with abuse. There's people who have been abused and then go on to be either abusive or end up in prison or do something bad.
Yep.
There's the ones that become very submissive and very quiet. I seem to find a path in between.
Yeah.
So I feel as though I've been quite lucky.
Well, I'm kind of, as I say, I'm kind of past that now because, as I say, I've been at prison for 2009, so I could just let it go in my head now. You know what I mean? Where a few years, maybe 4 years ago, maybe aye, 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't have. You know what I mean? Like, rise to it basically, eh? But I don't anymore. I just kind of, you're not worth my time anymore. You know what I mean? I've got my kid, I've got my wife. Life goes on. You know what I mean? I've got to kind of focus on that
Yeah.
and steady like haters or you know what I mean, stuff like that.
It starts within, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
it it's, you know, there's no matter what, I could give everyone who's watching now £1 million,
exactly.
but it wouldn't sort all your lives out and it wouldn't make you happy. It might make life easier.
Mhm.
For example, I'll give you another example. So you could lock me in the house so I couldn't get out to the shop to
Yep,
buy beer.
yep,
You could put me in rehab and take me away from heroin. You could
yep.
take my phone off me so I can't go gambling on the slots.
Mhm.
You'll never take the abuse that I suffered as a child out of here, ever.
Well, that's it, eh?
Never.
And you never.
But you have to deal with this, not the heroin and the drink. Because if you don't deal with this, you won't ditch the heroin and the drink.
Well, that's it. You've got to overcome. Well, as I say, I've never suffered, but yourself. But as I say, I didn't know how you'd be able to cope with that. But with my trauma, it's more kind of physical beating. You know what I'm talking about, and stuff like that. So with that, I kind of just kind of I'm numb to that. You know what I mean? But like yourself, come to that kind of like emotional like standard thing is it's inspirational because it's got to be hard on yourself, and I didn't understand how that you can cope with that. You know what I mean? And deal with that on a daily basis. You know what I mean? It's
God's honest truth, Darren. I don't honestly, God's honest truth, I do not know. I can't even answer that. Um,
mhm.
I've never had any medication really from the doctors. I've never been on any long term prescribed medication. I have tried all drugs, but never had a massive habit other than cannabis. I don't
Yep,
drink at all, really. I can have a
yep,
couple and handle it, but I just don't like to put me. I feel vulnerable when I do it,
yep,
so I don't do it. I'm a big believer in if something works, stick with it. If it doesn't, we're the adults. So if you've got children, you can change it. You can change the bedtimes. You can change the naughty step to I'll take your tablet off you, or you're not going to football at weekend, or you're not
oh,
going to your
100%, yeah.
friend. You know, so if something works, stick with it. If you go to the gym and it works and it helps your mental health, stick with it. If it doesn't and it
Yeah,
makes you feel worse, try swimming
100%.
or running. Um,
Well, they're all
you know,
mental challenges, eh?
yeah, and yeah, like I say, it's about within. Small
Yep,
changes can make a big difference to your mental health, without a doubt. Exercise. We're back to everything that everybody tells you. Exercise, eating, sleeping.
and nobody likes any of that, apart from the sleeping.
You know, the lifestyle. Some of it is about lifestyle choices, without a
Why?
doubt.
But you've got to change it, eh? You've got to want it.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
You've got to want it. You've got to want
Um,
to change, eh? And as I say,
a
you'll no
question.
change if you're not going to make the first step, eh?
a question at Andy's Man Club the other week was, what was the question? It was a bad habit. The last time you stopped a bad habit and the reason why, or a bad habit and the last time you, or when you stopped it. And everybody sort of, you went around the room and, you know, you pick your bad habit. There's lots of things in there that you could sort of say. You generalised smoking, drinking, driving too fast, not putting your seatbelt on, leaving toilet seat up, you know, picking your nose, whatever they are. And it got around to me, and I just said to all the group, "What is a bad habit?" And somebody said one of them, and I said, "No, what is a bad habit?" I said,
Yep.
"I've probably got things missing from my life with the traumas and abuse I've been through. I've probably got loads and loads and loads of bad habits. I don't particularly worry about them in a sense of if I need a cigarette because it makes me feel better because I'm stressed and that calms me down and stops me telling somebody to fuck off on phone, so be it, I'll have a cigarette. If
Yep.
I've had an absolutely shite few weeks and I've been through mill with my ex-partner and I need to go away and have a weekend away and have a couple of lines of coke, I'll go do it. If I want to have a couple of pints one night, I'll do it. But I don't abuse it. So it's weighing up them. You know, you can still
Well,
do things
that's
sometimes
your way of
without
coping.
making it too far. Yeah,
That's your way of coping, eh?
yeah.
And
And then I'll come back, and then I might come back and I'll be fine for 6 months or 12 months, and I'm all right. And then I'll go and have a blowout again, and I'm all right again. I don't go back. I don't go backwards. I can recognise, and it's recognising them signs, recognising when you start to go down on that downward spiral. I think once you can learn to recognise them things, you can step back and just go, whoa, take a minute, take a breath, reassess, reevaluate. Don't let this take over and put me back. Just stand back for 10 minutes, reassess it, think about it, and then, like you said, react differently, think differently, look at it slightly differently, try look at it in a different way.
Yep.
And that will produce different actions, different reactions.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I was going to say. Well, so what kind of tips could you give me for starting something like what you've started doing in Scarborough, Peter? See, what a couple of people are asking me here, who you are. He's Peter Speak, and he's from Scarborough, and he runs a few groups for mental health. So I'm just answering comments here. Who you are, kind of thing, Peter.
Yeah.
As I say, I'll put a link in that in the description at the bottom, so people can get a hold of you, kind of thing. But
No,
you know what I mean. But we can do this on a regular basis. You know what I mean. And as I say, because it's obviously it's the first time we meeting, but the more we talk, the more we can get. You know what I mean? Closer to kind of get more at each other, kind of thing.
Can I screen share to you doing it this way or not?
What do you mean?
You know, like on if you're on can you screen share? Do you know how to screen share?
Aye. But see, I've got a tech person that does it for me, and
Can you do that on YouTube?
She'll be able to do that, And she's going to email you. She's going to email you, Peter.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
You know what I mean? Because I say she deals with all my tech kind of stuff and that, But so back to Izzy. So how many can you in a group do you get at a time? Many people turn to your groups at a time.
We've run all through COVID because of COVID restrictions. We've been able to
Aye.
run the groups for mental health through COVID.
Yep.
So my groups have run all the way through COVID.
So then we had any talk, or do you keep in contact them with like phoning them and kind of keep
we have
in
two
contact them
Facebook. We have
through
we have
Facebook?
two Facebook groups where we have
Oh, well, you've got the
admin that
page,
run.
you've got the page, aye. You've got the page. Sorry, aye.
I've got one page which is Speak Up Scarborough, which is like an advertising page for
Yeah,
everything
that's it.
and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, you get quite a lot of trolls sometimes, and you get quite a lot of people who are just being nosy.
Yeah,
My ex-partner on the same estate where I live. She lives 2 or 3 streets away from me.
right.
She's like I said earlier, she's currently running CSA to try and get CSA to take me to court for £4,000.
Oh,
So you can imagine there's a little bit of friction there
oh, aye,
between us.
aye, aye.
So, and also, I will not condone any sort of domestic abuse or domestic violence.
No,
So we have some ladies who we have to make sure we keep safe. So we
definitely.
have a ladies group. We have a ladies group page only, and we have a men's page group only, so that everybody is inclusive, but has
Yeah,
access to the same people and the same help.
yeah.
But they are kept separate. Although we do
That,
run a
that
mixed group.
that's good, eh? That's good. Like, because as you say, you've got the women's kind of group and the man's group, and they all kind of the women can kind of speak among themselves. You know what I mean? The men speak among themselves. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what I was saying earlier to you. That it's like no men like to be like the big tough kind of characters and all that, no show any emotion or anything like that. But when it comes to somebody else, they'll open up more to that person. You know what I mean? Than the will their partner or their own. You know, it's mad how the human works that way, innit?
I think the other thing is that we aren't there. Like if you go to Ellis Centre or Cambridge Centre or Horizons, the one that you know in Scotland, Horizons, say for example, we're not there to assess anybody.
Yeah,
So, I, if you came to my group this week or next Monday, say, let's say I'm inviting you to my group now, you came to my group on Monday,
yeah,
hi Darren, you're right, do you want to come to my group on Monday down at the church in town? You say yes, I see you down there. I'm not then assessing you, and I'm not going to pass you to the GP. I'm
yeah.
not going to pass you to the hospital. I'm not going
Mm-hmm.
to pass you on to. I'm not going to pass you on to job centre. I'm not going to pass you on to a solicitor. I'm not going to pass you on to police. I'm not
Yeah,
going to go report anything. I'm not going to go report anything you've said, as long as
yeah.
there's no, as long as you aren't going to go kill yourself or say you're going to go do something stupid to somebody
So,
or to a child or
aye, aye.
something like that. Then
You've got to
we
report
aren't
that.
there. We're not there to report you or judge you
Yeah,
or we're just there to listen. And I think the fact that you're not alone and you can go back next week and I'm going to be there and there might be another lad who you've related to and you'll sort of message him or you'll see him on group and he turns up next week and you think, gosh, I don't half relate to that kiddie. You know, I don't particularly like him because of that X, Y, and Z, but I
yeah.
relate to him because of that A, B, and C.
So, Peter,
So it's learning to.
like, do you work with like prisons or anything like that, or is it just people that just that come feel like courts or anything like that, or is it just people for the street coming?
At the minute, we are currently just finding people ourselves, to come
Right,
through
right,
through hard work on social media.
yeah.
I have just because we have just secured some funding from the National Lottery.
I've seen that. Well done,
Um,
well done.
we have just that isn't easy.
I bet.
That isn't easy, but if you get something like that, that'll certainly help. But
I've
you
done
need
one
you
day.
need to try you need to try get a small group round you who are all looking to do and support the same thing within your current sort of
area.
locational area of where you live.
So you're on the same you're on the same page and what you're doing, and nobody's bitching about this and nobody's bitching about that. And so you're on the same page. You know what you're doing, what you're expected to. So, aye, it sounds like you've got a good wee hang on down in Scarborough, eh? And that's the thing that maybe needs to come up to
It's
Scotland, eh?
it's slow. It's hard work. It is hard
Yeah,
work, mate. Don't get me wrong. Very, very hard work, but it is so rewarding in other ways. You do feel like you're making a bit of a difference in people's lives, and if you can just support that one person, stop one person killing themselves, committing suicide, or going to a pub and drinking themselves to oblivion, isn't that a good
yeah,
thing?
of course that is
Um,
100%. And
and if we all talk more and try and understand and just listen,
well,
like
aye, that's 100% that.
everybody
Because
has
sorry, when
everybody
you go,
has everybody has a story. We all deserve to have the right to be listened to without being sort
100%.
of too judged. In a sense of, you read all the memes on Facebook and stuff, don't you? Like we don't know what options people have had and why they've made them decisions. Sometimes you don't have a choice.
Aye, that's it. The choice
You
is made
know,
for you.
all your choices are so limited,
Aye,
or they're so limited that you make a bad choice.
aye. Then you get then the next minute it's flung back in your face. Eh? It's sometimes they push you towards that, eh? And as I say, it's hard to kind of hold back. You know what I mean? But we're only human. You know what I mean? And but at the end of the day, as long as you're focused on what you're doing in life and what your goal in life, well, that's should be enough. You know what I mean? Just block the rest of them
But
away
yeah,
and keep all the positive towards you and get the negative away from you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And try
that's
and
the
be
other hard thing.
that is a really hard thing. And well, for the last 9 years, I've out of prison, the first 2 years, so I mean in 2009, so about 2011, I met my partner, Kirsty. So 2 years I sat myself, in my mum's house, just sitting smoking weed and just staying away from everybody and that, cut myself away from everybody. Then, as I say, I met my partner Kirsty in 2011, to now. I've just never, never spoke to anyone, never, just kept myself, you know what I mean? Got myself a car wash, got this, got that. I had to shut the car wash down for some reason, but it's part of life. But at least I managed to have that good life there, and it's still continuing on that path. Way Kirsty, because Kirsty
Yeah,
went through a bad experience herself, yeah, and through historical rapes herself and that, eh? And that was a journey there for the last 2 years. We went through a high court case with Kirsty, and the guy ended up getting 9 year prison and 3 year SRO. You know what I mean? And if and when he is released, the Justice Minister, we need to write to the Justice Minister, eh? So go for it. So, but we've had our issues, right? Especially Kirsty, my partner, but I say in the last couple of years we've had our issues with like, mental health and stuff like that. And sometimes you've got to kind of look at other things to, you know what I mean, take it away from that angle. You know what I mean? Because I was the only person, they said at the High Court, when the person was up for trial, they were going to give Kirsty a lot of support and stuff like that. And she never even got any like Leo's and officer, nothing. You know what I mean? She was left for how long years? 2 years. Aye, but took about 2 years to get to court, and she never heard from nobody, not one person. Right? 20 hours with rape crisis, and that was it. Aye, that was it. So it was only me, and we had a small child, Declan. He was only 2. You know what I mean? So it was it was fucking hard. You know what I'm talking about? Because I had the car wash to run, I had the wee man, I had Justy, and it was, you know what I'm talking about? It fucking that I'd take care of thing with the thing,
The
but
two, the two,
nobody still ever spoke to me about that, and you know, nobody ever could ask me the question, how did you cope? How did you know what I mean, or anything like that? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I
yeah,
mean? But I'm just one of the people that kind of block everything out where I shouldn't. I should open up about it, eh? You know what I mean? But
yeah.
who do you talk to? You know what I'm talking. That's what I'm trying to get this
Yeah.
gone.
I
You know what I mean?
completely agree. The other side of the coin is to this is it's free. Whereas if you go to counsel it, like I was saying to you before, you take the heroin away, you put me in
Yeah.
rehab, you take my phone away from gambling, you lock me in the house, I can't go buy a drink. But it doesn't change this. You could stick me
I'm
in a
thinking.
room, you could stick me in a room with 20 doctors, you could pay them £1 million each. It
Yeah.
still wouldn't take away what's in here.
It's aye. And that's what
So,
Kirsty says all the time, eh? Kirsty says it all the time. She's sat downstairs. It's like because she went through that NDR treatment and stuff like that, eh? And I have to go through it for the trauma I went through with my younger years, what I witnessed and what cause it was pure violence and all that kind of stuff all the way through, right until I was put into care until I was 14 and I got put away. 13, sorry, I got put away. Then I got out when I was 16. But anyway, so I have to go through the trauma that in my life kind of thing. You know what I mean? But Kirsty went through hers, and it was just, it was mad. It was just she couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't. She couldn't talk. She couldn't. You know what I mean? It was just she was just hiding herself away all the time. She was sleeping with the Wayne, and she was actually sleeping with the Wayne in the living room. You know what I'm talking about? It was he was stalking Kirsty at the time that and as I say, name it what I'd say a day, I'd be like Kirsty, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? He's not going to come. I mean, he'll get fucking well. You know what I'm talking about? But as I say, name it, even the family and that were like, listen, just baby, he's not. I know, but there was no telling her once it's in the heat. You know what I mean? And that's what she said to me. She said, "Damn," she says, I'd rather stand and take a doing," she says, "than get called names." You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it fucking broke my
yeah.
heart. You know what I mean? And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "She said, I'd rather get called." She said, "I'd rather take a fucking doing and get called names." And I was like, "Wow." You know what I mean? And then I was like, right, well, all the beating my dad gave me and the beatings I gave people to get the name from the family and that kind of stuff and that, that kind of, I mean, I was like to myself, fucking hell, man, you know what I mean? It was hard, it was hard to kind of deal with and cope with, and I was still not kind of spoke to anybody about it, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, try to open my group to kind of get that, you know what I mean? Let me prisoners,
Look for people.
ex-prisoners, because we all suffer with
It's
this.
looking for similar-minded people who've got the similar experiences, but you don't want them exactly the same. It's nice if you can get like all my staff come with different experiences. So
Yeah,
we've got I've got seven volunteers who all work online, and they come and help me staff the groups.
that's
So
good.
you've got such a different, vast experience with seven people in there of all different experiences, plus whoever comes to the groups. It
Yep.
makes it really open. They're all really honest now because they know they can be. They can trust me. They've built that
Mm-hmm.
bit of trust there with other members. They know that other members are quite safe, so they feel
Yep.
able to open up to them things that you maybe wouldn't open up to everyone.
Sorry, Peter. Sorry for stopping me here. I think we've got a troll here. And Carson TV with Darren. Thank you all. Double love that. Yeah, it might no be. Sorry. No, it's no. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Peter. And sorry. On you go. Sorry. And when you go,
Sorry,
you're all
mate.
right. And it's no. It's I thought somebody was using a fake account there, but it's no. You're all right. And
So what? where are you at currently? What are you doing currently? Are you just on YouTube? Do you have a Facebook? What are you doing to
I've
try
got
and
I've got YouTube, the new, and I've got Facebook, but that's my private page. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of getting to grips with the YouTube now. You know what I mean?
right?
And trying to build up on YouTube. Then I'll try
Yeah,
and take it to the next level. You know what I mean? But I'm just taking one
yeah,
thing at a time. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
there's no point in trying to rush into things because I need to know what to what to do and what angle to go at and what course what journey I'm going to go down. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. Yeah, you see, like to fund it for first year, we've done scratch. We've had to do scratch cards. You know the little
Yep,
like the football cards. £1 a go, you win 20 quid.
yep,
You get 20 quid. The winner gets 20 quid. So we've had to for a year. We've had to fund the groups and pay the rent and the teas and coffees that we've bought and the milk. We've sort of had to use the money that we made on the scratch cards to do that. So that's how we funded our group for the first year. Then we've got
right,
this national lottery. Then I managed to get this national lottery funding, which will fund us for the next year.
yep,
So it's been hard because we're running around for £1 here, £1 there off all our members, off people who we don't know, family, friends, trying to
right.
push it through Facebook. And that's generated sort of that's generated interest and got us aware, made us aware to people because of the
Mhm.
scratch cards.
Yep.
So that sort of helped get us out in the
That's an
community
idea.
and make people aware of what we're doing.
Yep.
Uh, and
No, that's
then
an idea.
we could
That's an
create.
idea that because did you read the about my channel? Did you read what the description of the channel?
I haven't had a chance. I've been so busy today. I flicked on it and
Well,
then flicked back up because my
it's
phone rang.
basically
So
it's basically it's basically to help people with like mental health issues, steering the youth away from crime, drugs, and helping ex-prisoners to kind of get back into work and stuff like that, Peter. And that's what I'm trying to get to you. And I'm just trying to find with different people like yourself and other people how to do it the right way. You know what I mean? And no go and do it the wrong way, make a cunt of myself. You know what I'm talking about? Because I wanted. It means a lot to me doing this. You know what I mean? Because I've done a lot and took a lot out of the community. So putting someone back in, you know what I
yeah,
mean? As an ex
yeah,
prisoner and that, an ex criminal is I think would do a lot. You know what I'm talking about? No for my
yeah,
for me,
yeah. I
but
totally
just
agree. I totally agree because I was one of the biggest drug dealers in Scarborough for 10 years. Um,
yeah,
Completely took the town police, which is why I don't have a good relationship with them really.
yeah,
Um, but I am violent, although I can be.
yeah,
Um, I know what my trigger is, and it's something I've learned to deal with from quite a young age.
yeah,
So I've managed to, for a lot of years, I've managed to control it. It's hard, but I've managed to do that. That's what I'm saying. I've been one of the lucky ones, really, because I've managed to control that
yeah.
anger, that frustration. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it does come out, but it don't come out physically, luckily.
Keep
It just fucks me up, like me
and
sleeping, me eating, and affects my mental health.
see when we were younger, Peter, right? Like me and my brothers, there's me, Paul, and Barry, and as I say, well, my brother Barry, he's a Scottish champion and international champion at Taekwondo, stuff like that. I was in the boxing, and my other brother done the Taekwondo too. But from an early age, we were fed steroids and what are protein shakes, and as I
Right.
say, because my dad wanted what the family was well known in Bonnybridge and Falkirk, and as I say, but he was wanting like you know what I mean, the kind of big thing with, because he had all the ice cream
Yeah.
vans and he had the fucking all that shit. But so we went through that stage of their life, and as you say, with the drugs, you know what I mean. I was fucking 13-year-old, and I was selling 9 bars of solid for £1,000. You know what I mean? And it was
11 years old, I started, mate. It's solid.
I was 13. I was 13, eh? And from then onwards, It was just like out canvassing for my dad for his businesses, driving ice cream vans. I was driving like flatbed lorries down to Newcastle with slates, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I don't know what people were doing now. I don't know by the time I was fucking bastard 16. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Yeah.
Snap.
You know what I mean? And
Driving
it's like,
forklift, going to work with dad and checking forklift out round fucking warehouse and estate round
yeah, we were fucking
parking.
crazy, John. Aye, man, 100%. And but that's the way it was in the back in the late
Fucking
'90s, early
right,
'90s. You know what I mean?
fucking right it was.
You know what I mean? I was only 13, my brother was 14. We're driving a fucking Ford Cargo flatback away down to Newcastle, Sunderland, for slates. We're getting 500 quid each. Of course, I'm fucking doing it. You know what I mean? Who wouldn't they? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? But aye. So that's still kind of trauma and stuff like that too. Because if I'd got caught or if I'd ran somebody an accident or that, you know what I mean? I'd have been fucked. You know what I'm talking about? So as I say, and back to the steroids with like my dad and that, because he wanted us to be, you know what I mean, big boys, full of steroids, want to fucking but we done that anyway. I threw the steroids in, but it wasn't none was good enough for my dad. He wanted everything, you know what I'm talking about. And my mum, she was a psychiatric nurse in Bellsdyke, Falkirk, and she ended up just leaving my dad in that, and he ended up fucking fucking off with one of the assistants that worked in the ice cream van with my dad. And it was just fucking hell, man. You know what I mean? Just caused a big war between the family, and it was bollocks. And now they're all in Bonnie I still go to see them and all that, but it's like, I didn't want to come and see you. I can't, you know what I mean? You're in my life. I mean, you better fuck at me. You know what I mean? You put me away. You know what I mean? You fed me with steroids. I mean, you made me go and fucking do punishment beatings and stuff like that. And you're sitting with fucking everything. And if it wasn't for me and my brothers, you wouldn't have where you fucking go. You know what I'm talking about? Same uncles,
Yeah.
but they've got the cheek to look down at you. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of mental health problems still there. You know what I mean? And anger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So that's what I'm trying to kind of get the 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 group going, kind of mental. You know what I mean? So everybody can kind of speak together and connect and get it all out. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, Peter.
That's definitely what you need. That's definitely what you need, mate. 100%. It's just keep going what you're doing. Just keep trying to raise awareness and get people to come on. And how do you get your people to come on your YouTube then and watch your videos? How does that work?
It's just people just type in your name. You like, share, comment, or subscribe. People that subscribe to your channel, you know, people see it and they'll like your videos. You know what I mean? Or your videos will just pop up on the YouTube. You know what I mean? Then all you do is just press OK, and that's it getting viewed. You know what I'm talking about? So as I say, I'm sitting at 25,000 now. 25,000 views now, and 200 subscribers, and that's only been 3 weeks.
Really?
You know what I mean? Aye. But see, I had to take my channel down last year due to trolls, right? And I had 120,000 views and just under 1,000 subscribers. But YouTube took my channel down because it kept getting reported. You know what I'm talking about? But as I say, I've just reopened it back up in a matter of 3 weeks. I've got this. You know what I mean? So it just shows you the support's still there for me. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, mental health, like I say, in Scarborough is massive. You know, we need to get the message out there that mental health in Scarborough is massive. Mental health for men, suicide for men, right across the country is at its highest.
Same in Falkirk.
And Scarborough in the UK, you know, in England itself, it's above London. It's highest, top of the pile. We're top of the pile. Right. North Yorkshire, the East Coast, Hull, Braid, Filey, Whitby, all surrounding areas. the whole of North Yorkshire is just horrendous for suicides. But we have two bridges in Scarborough.
Right.
One of the bridges has been sort of done so you can't climb up it and jump off, but the other one hasn't. And it's the other bridge that a lot of people are jumping off. So it's a particular spot as well that seems to be
Uh-huh.
quite renowned for it. I'm always going to be a little bit controversial anyway, because of past and background.
Yeah.
Um, I've got to the stage where I've got to the stage now where I've dealt with it here,
Yeah.
and I'm the one who's got to live with it. Everybody's got an opinion, and they're
Yo, aye.
entitled to it. Everybody's
Yep.
entitled to that opinion.
Yep. Definitely.
But again, it's like we said before. Everybody has the story. I've never really told mine. I've told bits of it and bits and bobs, and that's up to everybody if they believe that or they don't. And then everybody else has their other side of the story. And
Yep.
people use things and change their story
Oh, people use things as
as
weapons.
as and when they want to make themselves look better,
Yo,
or
aye.
make
Yo, aye.
you or make you look bad.
Definitely. Definitely. And that's what I'm going through the new. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do? Well, I just choose to laugh and ignore it, and I just let it get my head bit. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the more energy or oxygen you give them, you know what I mean? They're loving it. But as I say, why or how they can just sit all day or sit all night or whatever the day and just think and write up crap and do this and do that. Well, that's cyberbullying. You know what I mean? And a white
Yes, it
day.
is.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it
That's
is.
that's a criminal offence, right? And
Yeah.
they're sitting there and they think that you can't get the IP or the VPN. Well, they're wrong because you can. You know what I'm talking about? But as I say, it's they didn't realise about the mental health that they're causing with that too. You know what I mean? As cyberbullying. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And
Somebody told me a tale the other week, and this is true. It wasn't me who said this. It was a guy. I think this came out of Andy's Man Club. Actually, it was a guy in Andy's Man Club, and he said um, that saying. It's a famous saying. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but
names will
names
never.
won't hurt me.
Yeah.
Bollocks, bullshit, absolute rubbish. Names and things people say to you stick in your head. They do
Oh, aye.
hurt.
Oh, aye.
We do remember them. We do remember what's said. We do remember them. They hurt our feelings, and they stick in here. They do hurt. Um,
Oh, well, that.
that saying, that saying was put together to make you feel better. It's not
Mm-hmm.
true at all.
No, no. How can it be true? I mean, how can it be true? Names will never hurt you. Of course, they will hurt you. You know what I mean? Sticks will hurt you too. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? But sticks will only hurt you for a wee while because the wee sting will only hurt. But the names they last in the brain forever. You know what I mean? And as I say, there's a survivor of a historical rape. My partner, sitting saying to me, "Darren, do you know I'd rather take it down than actually be called a name." You know what I mean? And you're like, "What, you fucking serious?" You know what I'm talking about? You know, and it's like, why? You know what I mean? And she's like, it's because see once you get called that, see once you get called names, you're just it. You know what I mean? But when you get a doing, it heals. You know what I'm talking about? And I was
Yeah.
like, fucking wow, man. What did he put her through? You know what I mean? And I'll never understand that. You know what I'm talking about? I can only listen to her and help her go through it. You know, but I'll never understand how she feels. You know what I mean, Pierre? But as you say, like, names will never hurt you. Of course, names hurt you, right? Doesn't it matter if it's for a laugh or a bit of banter. If that person's like, stop calling me names or stop, they'll stop it. You know what I mean? Then I think it's a laugh and take a piss out of the cunt. Or, as you say, what on the computers or that, they didn't realise what they're doing to people when they're doing this. You know what I mean? Them everything is funny. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, how can sitting calling people names and making up lies and knowing what they're doing. You know what I mean? They're just as bad as, I don't know whether they're bad as, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's just nasty. You know what I mean? You just didn't do that because, as I say, names do hurt. You know what I mean? And as you say, it does stick in your brain, goes through your brain. But I don't know, with me, I just numbed. I'm just numb. You know what I'm talking about? So maybe all the years of what trauma and stuff with my past or whatever, I can't feel pain. You know what I'm talking about? Stuff like that. I don't know, but I know what my
And the
trauma.
reality, the
Sorry.
reality, the real, the reality is for me is the matter. Like same again. Like not everyone is going to like you for whatever reason it might be.
Well, definitely.
You obviously do a bit of drugs and what, like you've said. So it might be that you owe a lad some money, or he owes you some money, or he shagged one of your ex-girlfriends, or he
Exactly.
shagged one of your girlfriends behind your back. So it's not that you don't necessarily like him. You probably don't know him. It's just that he or her or she has done something,
Yeah.
to hurt you. But it's not that they've actually done anything to you. Do you get what I mean? And then
Yeah.
we have that dislike and we flag people off. Then we say things that are untrue, and that's how it goes. That's how it starts. Most of it.
Right.
Um,
Why? Why? It's just like here's he says, she says, bitching us. You know what I mean? Then the next minute, it's like the jail. You know what it's like, Pierre? It's like jail politics. You
yeah,
know, you know what I'm talking about with jail politics, right? Like we
yeah,
Chinese whispers. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Then before you know it, it's fully blown out the water. You know what I mean?
I,
But
I had a guy. I had a guy say the other week. We're talking about my case with CSA, and I had a guy say, so he said CSA said, so my ex-partner, I've offered her CSA, I've offered
yeah,
her money, but she's turned around and said she doesn't want anything. She won't accept it. But she's told the kids that I never give her anything and she doesn't get any money for them, off me.
that that's evil. That's evil, eh?
So it's like they don't always quite tell the whole truth. No, he's not giving her anything. So
Mhm.
technically what she's saying is right,
Yeah,
but it's not that he hasn't offered and she said she doesn't want anything. So what's he supposed to do?
yeah.
No, leave it in because you'll get hot and sweaty. Go on, because I'm on a phone call. Get into bed, please. 2 minutes, mate.
Yeah, boy.
Get into bed, please.
Yeah,
Night, night, mister. Sorry, mate.
hey, boy. I'll just drink my flag.
Oh, shit. Um, so yeah, it's really, really difficult, and everybody
Definitely,
has everybody has their own story, and not everybody's going to agree.
definitely.
So sometimes it is difficult. You have to be able to just, and even your own opinion. Sometimes you have to just keep that
Question
to a
it.
level because
Yep,
you don't want to trigger somebody or upset somebody to the stage where they feel worse. So
yep.
you have to you do have to also be a little bit careful. And if you've had a heavy session in a
Yep,
group, just try and make sure you check in with everybody before they leave,
yep.
just to make sure they are okay, and that you get some downtime as well to just try and release what you've taken in that day or that week or that
100%.
session. Or there might be something that triggers you personally. There might be something
Mm-hmm.
that triggers somebody else in the room. They might need a little bit of extra support or just a little bit of time afterwards, just to recess and go again. Regroup.
Yep.
And yeah, just go again. Um, try. You need it's locally. The local stuff is where you need to start. Just go out around your local community, people who you know, in your local community who you trust, who you know have got some of the same issues.
Yep.
You know lads who've come through stuff and getting to the other side, or lads who you may think you can help. Just
Yep.
go and approach them and, you know, tell them who you are and what you're about, and just try go about it that way, slowly but surely. You know, it's
Well, that's what you can do, eh?
Facebook and your wife or your missus, you know, they sort of pick family, close friends, neighbours, and start try to pick people out their friends or people who they think may need help. Or
Well, that's it. That's what you can do, Pierre. Hey, you've just got to kind of look after your own, and get on with it, and just blank the rest of them. For the simple fact is, they're no worth the oxygen. You know what I mean? Sorry, that's just notes. It's no worth the oxygen to give them to give them the oxygen. Sorry, to spread their vile crap. You know what I mean? Just let them carry on with what they're doing, and you just focus on your goal. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing that matters. Matters, eh? It's just you concentrating your thing and just let haters be haters, eh? You know what I mean? And as I
totally
say,
agree.
with
Totally
your
agree,
mental
mate.
health,
Totally agree.
because if you didn't, then that's when your mental health's going to really suffer. You know what I mean?
Well, mine did at Christmas, which is what spurred me on to do the groups. Like I said, I tried to take my own life between 15 and 20, myself twice. Luckily, I'm still here to tell the story.
Yeah.
So my traumas never, they never stopped. They just carried on. I've been in an abusive relationship, which was domestic abuse for me. Um, the problem is because I'm a man and it wasn't physical. She's never ever hit me. In a sense of she wouldn't scare me like that because I'm used to being beat like you. Her
Yeah.
partner has never started on me because, like you, I was beat when I was a kid. So I don't feel the pain, that sort of pain. Like you've said, I agree with you completely. Totally get where you're coming from and relate to you in that one.
Yep.
So it's never been abusive where it's been anything where you can see bruises or broken arms or bones or they stabbed me or they've hit me. It's not like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
been through third, third parties.
Yep.
By third parties, I mean government run establishments, i.e., um, I've been through an 18-month tax credit appeal. We agreed to shared care when I came out of prison because social care were involved. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she agreed to give me the claim for one of the children because I was having 3 children 3 times a week, which is
Yep.
9 times a week. How
Yep.
can a man with a single gyro cover 9 extra meals a week on a single man's gyro? So she agreed to give me tax credits and child benefit for one of the kids.
Yeah.
My girlfriend that I'd been with for 3 years through prison and when I came out was working and decided that she wanted to take me and her to Portugal. The day
Right.
that we flew to Portugal, my ex-partner put the claim back in for child tax credits and child family allowance.
Okay.
In this, that was in the 10th month. In the February, round about Valentine's Day, I went
Yeah.
to pick the children up from her. I went to pick the children up from her property, and we ended up arguing about the benefits. It was my weekend for contact, and she was trying to stop me taking the children for the weekend so she could ring child tax credit and child benefit up, saying he's now not having them for the 3 night shared care because they're not
Yeah.
going on a weekend.
That's terrible.
So she could get the money back. We
Right.
ended up having an argument. I decided to leave. Said to the kids, "Come on, let's go." I said to Mum, "If you don't be fucking careful, I won't bring the kids back at all."
Yep.
Quite calmly, quite firm, but quite calmly. Mum shouted, "Run," to the kids. One of the kids ran and tried to run away from Mum. She grabbed her and pushed her behind her back. And as she pushed her behind her back in the doorway, my daughter squealed. I reacted and grabbed my partner's arm.
Yeah.
The other child ran to me and held my hands, ready to walk off.
Yep.
Then I realised what I'd done. I was like, oh, fuck. What have I done? I'm out of prison about 12 months for being one of the biggest drug dealers in North Yorkshire. Okay, only for cannabis, but even so, it's still illegal. The police will just see me same as they would any other drug dealer. It don't matter, it was only cannabis. Realised what was coming. So I left the scene, didn't hang around, went back to my flat, which was less than 5 minutes away. Within 5 minutes of me walking through the flat door, police were there. You're being arrested for assault. Tried to report what had happened to my daughter. They wouldn't accept it, didn't believe me. And the only witnesses I had was a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old that I wasn't going to use or could use.
Obviously.
And she was at home with her own partner. It's what me and you better know as court bang to rights.
Yeah.
And pretty much from that period onwards, she never let up. I went back to college and started studying. She put a claim in for CSA.
Yeah.
She claimed for all 3 children, but I got the child benefit back by then.
That's good.
Child benefit. CSA didn't believe me. I had to apply for CSA for the child I had care of to prove that I had care of her, so she couldn't claim for it against me.
Right.
Which is the same case that they're now trying to take me to court for 10 years later. This is 10 years.
10 years later.
10 years this has been going on, and the domestic abuse for 10 years is rife, immense. I've been accused of an assault. I've been through bankruptcy. I've been divorced her. I've been through repossessions of property. I've been to prison. She accused me of an assault. We did an 18-month tax credit appeal for tax credits. She's had my money stopped numerous times. They've then phoned the police on me. When I started seeing my new partner that I'm with now, they put my cars on its tyres outside my house.
Mm-hmm.
My partner's been assaulted by her niece outside our back door. They came to my house, 2 of them, just before lockdown. I put their car window through. So I'm just waiting to go to court for criminal damage. So I have my own stuff going on as well as running these groups. It ain't all groups and no mental stress and mental problems behind the scenes, same as yourself. So I totally relate to where you're coming from. It's about just keep plodding on, talking about it, getting it out there. I've put my CSA case all over my Speak Up Facebook page. If you want to read through the evidence that's on there, it's all there to see. I'll prove my case in court without a doubt. I don't want a solicitor. I'll do it myself. I'm not educated. I failed all my GCSEs because my mum died of cancer, so that fucked all them up. I went to college when I came out of prison, and my partner put me through that 18-month tax credit appeal. So I left college 2 assignments off finishing my access to higher education. So as far as anybody knows, I'm uneducated, but I can prove this case with CSA's own documentation. This documentation isn't from me. It's their own documents from that subject access request. So all the documentation is in their records. They're just willing to unaccept it. The only thing I have done is they said that my partner's name, they've openly said that it was unrecognised, an unknown name. I've got that in black and white. I find it hard to believe that the CSA can check whether I'm on benefits. They can check my bank account. They can check my Visa accounts. They can check if I've got a driving licence. They can take my driving licence off me if it goes to court and I don't pay. They can take my passport off me if I go to court and don't pay. Yet they can't check her fucking maiden name out. the same name that my children are in on the case is the
Right.
same name on the bank account details on my bank statements from 2012. I've
Yeah.
sent the original. I've sent the original bank statements in to CSA, and
Mm-hmm.
CSA have said they've never had them.
That's but you've got the paperwork to say that it's
They've
there.
sent them back in. They've sent a photocopy back in the SARS subject access request. The
Oh,
fucking thick cunts.
aye, aye. They're taking the piss, aren't they? They're taking the piss, like, they know what they're doing. Yeah, they know what they're doing. Well, as I say,
Just wrote to my. I have just. I've just wrote to my MP,
yeah,
who knows me. I've had numerous dealings with him because of the bullying I've had from the police force in relation to my ex-partner,
mm-hmm,
because I'm the criminal, because I'm the ex-offender, because
yeah,
I'm known to the police for drugs. It has to be me. Why could it be? Why wouldn't it be me? It has to be. I'm male. I'm a criminal. I'm an offender.
how,
I'm known for drugs. Why? Why would it not be me? It has to be me. She's a woman.
how,
She's got kids. She's no criminal. She has no criminal record.
yeah,
So she looks like she
also
um,
an angel.
untouchable,
Aye, aye.
unblemished. Um, social care know her.
A
Social
good
care know
character.
exactly what. Yeah, I've had problems with social care,
Yeah,
social services. I know all about them and what lies and corruption there is right through social care.
yeah,
Um, you see these sites pop up. Aren't you? Stop social care corruption is one that I see on Facebook just started up. So it's rife. We're talking about Black Lives Matter all the time and this knee kneeling. Yes, Black lives do matter. Don't take away. I'm not being racist. They do.
yeah,
Without a doubt, there is some really, really unjust things happening to black people. So yes, Black Lives Matter, but there's also the same injustice through the whole of our government systems, whether that be
definitely.
prison, probation, courts, family law, solicitors, government, MPs, the council, um, even in funding, mate. Even
Yeah,
in funding for community groups that I run, there is
yeah,
injustice and prejudice for people like me, people like you who are ex-criminals, who are ex-offenders, people
yeah,
like me who um, it's hard for me because some people will class me as a perpetrator. I don't know how you can class an 11-year-old as a perpetrator. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I don't quite
mm-hmm,
see it like that.
yeah,
But neither do I fit into either group because, yes, you could, I suppose, technically class me as a perpetrator at 11. I don't see it like that. But neither do I see myself as being abused, even though I was,
yeah,
because I didn't realise till 2 years ago that it actually was abuse. So I never realised it was really anything different because I've been in abusive relationships for such a long time.
yeah,
It's never I've never touched a woman since I was being 11. I've never been done for drunk and disorderly. I've never been done for an assault on a man or a woman. I've never been done for domestic violence, apart from that assault that my ex-partner accused me of, where I grabbed the wrist. And it says in the statements I grabbed the wrist. So it's not like she can turn around and say it was an assault. He beat me up. He beat me black and blue. There's photographs. It says in the statement I grabbed the wrist. The injuries were fucking minor. So it was really mine. It was so minor that she couldn't say it was anything other than what it was, really.
aye, aye,
Um, I even went not guilty to the assault and they threw it out in court. They knew I was going not guilty all the way because I wanted to tell my story of what she'd done. It was obvious she was trying to manipulate the benefits. She then used me being on bail to secure the child benefit back,
right,
which is why we ended up and that's why we ended up in the 18-month tax credit appeal. She wanted the tax credits as well, and I couldn't do the 3 days without the tax credits money. and the kids were unsafe. And the kids were unsafe in her care 7 days a week. So what was I supposed to do?
Yep. Yep.
But
It's
I'm the
hard.
bad one. But I'm the bad man. It's
Oh,
just not like that. So it's things.
sometimes the men always get played into the bad, eh?
Sometimes things are
That's the
deceiving.
thing.
This is why I'm saying we need to listen and try and understand and look at things differently and see things, see everybody's story, because sometimes people are sorry, and no matter what they do, they can't make something right or do anything to make it better, even.
Yeah.
So it's very, very difficult to get better or have somewhere to
Yeah.
go where you feel safe to talk.
Yep. But you should always.
Especially guys who've been sexually abused. I think that's probably the worst one for guys to talk about.
I don't.
I've
I didn't know
I've
how people.
experienced a little bit of that, but nothing serious. And it was with a lady, not with a man. So
Right, as I say, it's like
go on.
people when they were younger, as you say, being sexual abused and that. It's like it's never what happened to myself that but it's how did they manage to block it out? You know what I mean? It's you know what I mean. It's bound to be hard. You know what I mean? And like, it's obviously you're never going to forget it or anything like that. But suppose do you just kind of make life easier for yourself? Be like, but can you say? What can you say? Like, just kind of blocking your thoughts out. You know what I mean? Like I know, like your point of view is different. You know what I mean? Like, but people
I
that's
don't think it's.
watching,
I don't. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people. Yeah, yeah. Don't get me
people
wrong. That's
watching
what
the
they do.
news. You know what I mean?
We go to drink or we go to heroin. We try and numb that pain. We try and block that pain out. But the reality is, yes, it maybe works that night or for a few hours. But you
Yeah,
wake up next morning, it's still here. This is what I'm saying. This is what I was saying earlier, isn't it? It's
yeah,
still in here. You can't rid. The only
yeah.
win. The only win. The only winner with abuse is abuse.
Oh, aye,
There's
aye. The abuser,
because
and
and it
you always
carries
win.
it carries on because no matter how you, some people use it to, like I said earlier, some people then use it to make themselves feel better or make themselves look better or make somebody look bad when they want to make them look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for example, my sister currently is doing a group very similar to me locally,
Yep,
um, and she isn't impressed. I think because my group's doing quite well, it's doing all right, and we've had this funding.
yep,
So she's now put a little video together, a little clips of stuff from her life. And like I was
yep.
saying about the guy who said about the ex who'd said she wouldn't accept any money from the CSA,
Mm-hmm.
but he has offered, but then she's told the kids that she doesn't get anything. So my sister's done something very similar. She said all the bad bits. She said how coming to Scarborough was the best thing that she did, and she's glad she moved here. Well, my question to you would be, to my sister would be, well, if I'm such a bad person, why did you move here where I am?
Well, that's that. Yeah, aye,
Do
100%.
you understand? Do you understand where I'm coming from? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I helped her move. I helped her move here. I paid for her to move. I let her stay in my flat. When the guy that she was running away from found her in Scarborough and the police in Scarborough wouldn't attend because he'd been to prison for guns, who was it
Yep,
who went out and had to speak to him? It wasn't the police. It wasn't my sister. It was me.
yep,
When my sister went to school and said to the school teacher, I'm leaving the kids here, I aren't coming back for them. I'm going to buy a gun to buy my ex-partner who'd abused her children,
yep.
um, or knew who'd abused her children. Who was it who went to social care and got the children back I left Scarborough, I left my employment, went and picked her up in Bradford. Somebody rung me and said, your sister's here. I left Scarborough, went and picked her up in Homewood, which is one of the roughest estates around West Yorkshire.
I know
It's
where
where
it is. Yep,
all the gypsies live there. They go around Homewood on the horse and cart and
yep,
that type of thing. I've got family or ex-family and relations who still live there,
yeah,
who are well known in that area.
yeah,
So I went to pick her up from there, and we got, who was it who did all them things? Yeah, she's made me out to be this big, bad, horrible person. The reality is, yeah, for 12 months I was that person. But I was 11 years old. I'm
yeah,
45 years old now. I am that same big bad person I was at 11.
yep.
It's not there. It's not who I am now. It's not been there for years.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is now that I can't tell my story of that 11-year-old boy because I'm 45. And that story of that 11-year-old boy would have been very different to the story I'd tell now.
Felt of the day. And so see, like, as you say, like, about the guns and the drugs and that, how long ago was that after you kind of broke away from, like, the home kind of situation?
Well, my mum died of cancer, and then my sister ended up getting groomed by Asian guys. She ended up in London. How many times did I go to London to pick her up? I couldn't have tried to stop her going. Obviously, she's my sister. I knew
Yeah,
what was going on, but I couldn't stop her, Darren, and I
yeah.
couldn't force her, especially
No,
what
you
had happened
can't.
after especially what had happened in the past.
Yeah,
So it was awfully hard to do anything. All I could do is say, "Look, I'm here for you, and if you need me, ring me. I'll come and get you." But I mean, I must
what
have
age
been
were
back
you? What age were you there then?
16, 17.
So you were young. You were young, and you had,
Oh,
but
I was pulling her out of taxis and fighting with them all around Keighley in
right.
West Yorkshire. I was 16. They were all 20,
Fuck's
21,
sake.
22, 23. Do you know what I mean?
And
I
was
was
that
battling with all them. I was battling with all them lads and carrying on.
right? Aye, man.
Uh, trying to protect, trying to, trying to protect my sister and trying to make right what I'd done wrong. Just trying
Mm-hmm.
to look after her. She's my little sister. Still. You know,
So when did
but,
the drugs, see, like, the drug dealing part side of it, as you say, how long did that come into
oh,
play? How long did that
tinkered since
last for?
I've
How long did
tinkered
that
since I was
for?
11. I've tinkered since I was
11.
11, and then
11.
when I met my when I met my second wife, her brother was dealing, and that sort of just kicked me into it. That's what I'm saying. She classes me as the abusive one, but yet they've abused drug and alcohol for years and years and
Yeah,
years. My ex-wife were all known to social care, all her family were known to social care. So, whereas even though shit had happened in my life, we weren't
yeah.
known to care.
Right, right.
So, we lived in a small village. It was not like council estate. We lived in a good area. My mum and dad worked. We weren't from a rough area. We were from like a bit better area, not really that rough.
Yep.
But my mum was just my granddad, I think, was a sergeant major in army, and he was a bit of a piece of work. And I think my mum's traits came from him. So it's just
Yeah.
again passed on. We're just passing the abuse down the line. And luckily,
So,
I have. Luckily, I've stemmed my end, but my sister's kids, she's got 4 and 3 of them have been sexually abused, not by me, um, by other people. So it's
aye,
quite hard.
I
So
get what
we've
you're
got
talking about.
loads of traumas between us.
Yeah.
So
Yep. So,
just mental,
did,
really. Just,
were you quite big with the drug dealing itself.
For the cannabis in Green, yeah. In this area, I was, yes.
Yeah. And did you feel like the cannabis kind of helped your mental health status?
I believe, like I said to you earlier, if something works, stick with it. If something doesn't, don't.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
when my mum left at 11, left the family home, I hit my dad's decanters. Do you know what decanters are? They're like glass,
Aye. Aye. Aye.
glass, glass that holds alcohol. What they used to put on your trolley in the olden days with all your cut glass stuff.
Aye, man.
I hit my dad's decanters at 11 with a whiskey, brandy, vodka, port, sherry. I didn't know at 11 you had to fucking mix it, so I was drinking it straight.
All right. So you were taking the pure liquor.
So it made me very, very sick. Very, very
Right.
sick. And it put me off alcohol. So, oh, shit. 2 seconds, mate.
Yeah, ball, mate. I've never
Babe,
drank till all day.
From your messenger, but I don't know if she's got it. I've got to log back into your messenger.
Right, can you log into the Scarborough page and just set a room up and send a link out there?
I don't know how to do it. You have to show me how to do it, or tell me what to do.
Well, you can just do it, log in, and then it's there. Log out with your Facebook, log into Speak Up Scarborough. Sorry, 2 minutes, mate.
No bother.
I'm trying to sort my own group. I'm trying to sort my own group out because it's karaoke tonight. So 2 seconds. You talk to your lot, and I'll be back in a minute.
No bother, pal. No bother. Peter, he runs a community centre in Scarborough. Community group, sorry, in Scarborough, and currently runs it at Hall. And he's got kind of groups as you hear him there, and they'll talk about different mental health issues and stuff like that. And he's been through the mills himself, as you can hear, as he's talking. So it's been good so far. Learning a lot off the guy, right? So we'll just yeah.
Hi, darling. Right. You had a good night at work? She's in the living room, sweetheart. Sorry, stepdaughter was just coming in from work. Oh, dear. Yeah, sorry, my guys, we've got karaoke tonight, so we're just setting a room up for karaoke.
Right.
To start at 9 o'clock, so we're late.
Oh yeah. Right. Well, what I'll do is I'll let you go to now then. And I'll message you in the next couple of days, and we can arrange for another wee catch up then.
Of course we can. Absolutely,
Right.
yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, no problem at all, mate.
And can you drop me a link to your channel, and I'll post it to my group, sorry.
You what? Sorry, say that again.
The link to your group.
Yeah, of course I will. Yeah.
Send me the link to your group.
Yeah,
will
do. Yeah.
Put it up and let people see, because there's quite a few viewers asking. You know what I mean? Who you are interested, basically. You know what I mean? And as I say, we can all kind of talk together. And so, as I say, Peter, thanks for coming on. For the evening, sorry. I know I got a bit jiggered at the start there. But as I say, we'll slowly keep in touch, and I'll be in contact in the next couple of days. And as I say, you take care of yourself now, and I'll speak to you, as I say, in the next couple of days. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely great, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you.
Same with you, Peter.
I hope that you guys in Scotland and you yourself can put something out of what we've talked about today and crack on. One thing I will say to you is, I don't know where to send you locally, because I'm not in your local area.
Yeah.
But what we've done is we've had to get a group of people together and make like a little board. So there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
And then we've registered as a registered constituted community group.
Right.
Not the same as a charity, but
No.
it's nearly the same.
Right.
And you don't need the charity number, but you can get a
Mm.
bank account. You can get a bank account with that, and that you need that to access funding.
Right. Right. Well, as I say, Kirsty, she's writing, as I say, everyone doing as we speak, and because she kind of takes notes and that, eh?
If I can
But
help
as I say,
you,
I'll keep in contact with you, if no daily
if I
basis,
can
sort of
help,
every second day, and see how you
if
are and talk to you through
if I can
Facebook.
help you in any way, if I can help
But
you personally in any way, anybody who's watching, I know a little bit about all sorts benefits,
yeah,
probation,
yeah,
courts, family courts, crown courts. I've even been in county court because I've been made bankrupt and I've been repossessed and I've been divorced, which is all county court. So I've got a good experience of all the courts. And like I said, I know a little bit about benefits, a little bit about CSA, child social care. Can't stand them. Can't stand the
nah, who can?
police. So anybody who I can help in any way, shape or form, please get in touch with Darren. We can hopefully do it together if it's somebody from your way.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Will you be able
Right,
to post? Will you be able to share this video to my page, Darren,
of course I will.
to
Of course I will.
Facebook? Can you do that from YouTube or
Drop the
not?
link after me, and as I say, I'll get Kirsty to post it to you. And
If you can post this to my Speak Up Scarborough, if you could post this to my Scarborough page, it'd be brilliant.
I'll do that, neighbour. Send the link to me, Peter. And as I say, tell everybody in Scarborough I'll speak to them soon, because I usually go down that way for a wee holiday, so I'll maybe pop in and see you
That's
in a
fine.
couple of months.
We'll meet up
You
and
know
have
what
a
I mean?
meal somewhere. Fine, yeah, no worries. That sounds cool. I'd really enjoy
100%.
that.
But aye, 100%. But as I say, Peter, it's nice speaking to you. And as I say to everybody, please share, subscribe, and comment. And please check Peter's page, Scarborough. What was I again? Sorry, Peter.
Speak up, Scarborough.
Speak Up Scarborough. Please, everybody, uh, once I drop the link, go and check Peter out. He's been through the mills, as you can hear. And as I say, I'll speak to you in the next couple of days, Peter. Okay?
No worries. You guys take care. Stay
You
safe.
too.
Stay well. Look after yourself and think about this. It's all in here.
Yep,
If you sort in here out, the rest will come. Honestly,
definitely.
relationships, jobs, money, kids. You've got to sort yourself out first.
Definitely,
All
Peter.
right.
Definitely.
Take care.
Right, well then,
See you
thanks for
later.
coming on, and I'll speak to you in the next couple of days, my man, eh? Okay,
Night,
bye
night,
now.
guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. See you later, darling. Bye, love.
Bye, Paul.